Bonjour, everyone. Welcome to the epilogue of Minus You. Minus You, the 21 episode project, is actually complete. This is the largest project that I have worked on in years, and quite possibly the largest project that I have completed in years since my days of intense dedication to pageants. I have transformed a lot along the way of writing, recording, releasing, and just the entire experience of Minus You. I've kept my personal life really close to me during the release of Minus You for some reasons that I will share in this epilogue, but I will say, now as we are in October of 2023, I am not the same woman who put her pen to the paper or fingers to the keyboard in April of 2023 in devastation and confusion. First off, let me say, Minus You healed me. Writing my pain and loss alongside learning took my shattered heart and kind of gave meaning to the madness that I felt like I was experiencing. I'm so proud of this project, and it's something that I hold very dear to me, as it started out as kind of this delivery of ungiven love that I held in my heart, not only to Nicholas and I's relationship, but this unexpressed love that I had towards myself. I fell in love with myself and found a really deep sense of caring and love for who I am, who I was, where I've been, and where I'm going. It was this feeling that I can't remember having towards myself, quite possibly, not ever in my life. I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so proud of my story and where I come from and who I am. First time in a really, really long time, and quite possibly ever, I'm just really happy just being me. I'm happy just as Madeline. Early into writing Minus You, I began to understand myself in ways that I had never understood or explored before. It allowed me to really understand myself and understand my choices in some really intense situations that I experienced. And because I was able to reflect like this, it led to me falling in love with my story and who I am. I can honestly say, writing saved my life. This project, was keeping me alive for a while. Minus You had been completely recorded for over a month prior to the last episode. I remember recording the last episode in my room in Oregon and truly completing that last piece of Minus You as a podcast. It's been released weekly, of course, all the way from May until now, here we are in October. Minus You has been shared with people who have similar experiences to me, and I've had some really amazing conversations and supportive individuals that have similar hardships like I have experienced. That's probably the thing that I'm the most proud of regarding Minus You, is I kind of got to create and access this community of women who suffered the same thing and kind of rose out of this bullshit of what we considered wreckage, but God considers a rebirth and a rebuilding. As for myself and how I'm doing now, as I said, I'm really truly happy for the first time in a really long time. I actually moved back to Orlando, Florida on August 26th of this year. God completely paved a way for me to return to this area that has allowed me to reclaim dreams that had always been mine. The road was not easy, and it was not pretty, but I am still reaping God's incredible blessings in my life. I am sure some of you might be wondering, well, doesn't Nicholas live in Florida still too? Yeah, he does. Nicholas was pretending to be my brother's friends for the 9 months that I lived in Oregon to keep tabs on me. And actually, 3 days after I moved back, I hadn't even announced it yet. My social media was private. He found out from my brother and filed a lawsuit against me for a restraining order just because I moved back to the area. It was fucking ridiculous, to say the least. So I had the joy of actually encountering Nicholas in the courtroom, as I ended that lawsuit instantly, and of course the restraining order was not granted, and Nicholas looked like a fool in front of the judge. But when you move back somewhere, when you go somewhere that there is prior experience or prior people, and you get to, like, reclaim your dreams, there's kind of a battle to get that space back. And so I had to kind of face a battle like that when I moved back to Orlando and say, like, you don't own this city. This is not yours. Just because you live in a different part of town than me doesn't mean you own this space. You don't own these restaurants. You don't own this land. It's not yours. Like, it was just baffling to me and speaks volumes to his character and his massive ego and entitlement and all of the above. Something else that I kept quiet, actually, for a really long time, too, is Minus You was actually put under legal fire from Nicholas's mother, Jen, if you remember her from Allowing Abuse. Jen attempted to file against me and Minus You for defamation of her family. And, of course, unsuccessfully, that did not work out for her, because it's not defamation. I did get a lawyer to make sure that I protected my story and my truth and my experience. Truth is the ultimate defense for defamation. So, bummer for them. That poor family, they've lost twice, and that's kind of what happens when you treat people like garbage. You know, you can try and bring out the big guns, but if you don't have any ammo, it's going to be really hard for you. So repeatedly, I have seen this family attack me, and repeatedly, I have prevailed on top, time and time again. And it's really a blessing, to say the least, that God protected me and still protects me from this destruction-bent family. And for the first time in a long time, I am not just surviving, I'm absolutely thriving. And, like, sucks to say, the family, they can't stand it and they can't live with it, but they continue to lose, and that's just God's protection over me and the blessings I have in my life. Being back in Orlando has been really interesting, as well as it's been so incredibly fun. I work for Disney once again, I'm a house manager once again, I go to multiple concerts a month, I am hugely involved in the Disney program's life, and I still write on other projects that you will hear about someday soon. I have a bar that I go to, it's a video game bar, I have a lot of fun there. I go to a concert club, and I end up meeting, like, the music artists that I go see, like, almost every month I'll meet an artist that I listen to, which is super fun. And I'm taking surfing lessons later this year, and might be participating in a Disney run, which is crazy because I would never voluntarily move. But I'm having such a great time here, and when I say reclaiming my dreams, like, I'm living everything that I some of it I got to do before, but I'm doing it genuinely for myself and not for anybody else, and not letting anyone's opinion of an experience define how I feel about anything, because I let people do that for me for a long time. And this is, like I said, it's the first time in a long time for a lot of things that I'm doing things that I love just because I fucking love them. And I'm doing it because I fucking love it. And it's so amazing, and I'm just so happy about this. As for, like, my love life, like, it just kind of is. Like, I'm perfectly okay with just being me and seeing what life brings me and just experiencing it as it comes. Like, I'm not on a timeline, I'm not desperate, I'm just me, and I'm just doing what makes me happy. My life is so full of adventure and happiness on my own, I don't need someone to give me that, or validate me in that way. I have learned to trust, and some days are easier than others, that God will bring me a man who is going to like me, love me, protect me, and uphold me when God's timing is right. I have done my best to trust in God's time and not mine. I have a feeling that I encountered recently, especially being back in Florida, being happy alone just by myself for the first time in a long time, but also just, like, sometimes being lonely. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I do miss having someone to love and to care for, to spend time with. Like, of course I miss that. I do not miss being alone in a relationship, though. I will take happy and occasionally lonely over unhappy and coupled up with an unwilling or destructive individual. Some days are easier than others, like, especially with the holidays coming up, or, like, especially, like, working in Disney, you see all these happy families and happy couples all the time, and you're like, dang, like, I really wish that was me, but, you know, like, every moment there's gonna be, like, a grass is always greener type perspective, so I try to keep that in mind. You know, on very seldom occasions, I guess sometimes I wonder what life would be like for Nicholas and I, you know, if he had chosen to become a better man, as I chose to become a better woman. But, you know, like, the wondering is really, like, kind of pointless and wasteful. Like, that is not reality. I'm really excited for the day where I get to meet my future husband, like, whoever that is. But I'm not, like, sitting around and waiting. Like, my life is so full of adventure and blessings in the aftermath of someone and before the right someone. I want to say, like, a truly special thank you to everyone who really supported me this entire year, like 2023, this journey in writing and living out minus you. I don't think I would be here today if it wasn't for my family and the people who love and care about me, if they didn't go above and beyond to take care of me in a really horrible time in my life. I cannot express my gratitude enough for this. And the only reason I stand here today is because of the people in my life that continually picked me up off the floor when things were really, really hard. A final word of advice as I close out this episode or epilogue, whatever it is, in minus you. Fall in love with yourself. Like, when you lose someone, especially someone who you think is your other half, the other half that you think is missing, you already have that. Like, you are your other half. As you chase someone who chooses abandonment, like, let them run. Don't run after them. Run after yourself, because you've been neglecting yourself. You will see very quickly that, unfortunately, we tend to neglect ourselves in these unbalanced and unhealthy situations. I very quickly realized after Nicholas that I was a stranger to myself in the aftermath. And it took months to find myself, understand myself, invest in myself, and then after all of these steps, love myself for my story, my pain, my experience, and just truly who I am. Loving yourself will fill a hole in your heart that you didn't really even realize that it existed. It may not cure loneliness or longing to love someone, because that we as humans, we are designed for relationships. And I'm not talking about like romantic relationships, but just like we are designed to be in community. So loving yourself isn't going to take away that want or that desire. But it's so important to your sense of self and your overall identity just as an individual. I realized that my identity was so rooted in being a part of a relationship alongside the relationship's accomplishments, which is very, like, that's not something that I blame anyone for. Like, it wasn't Nicholas's fault that happened, or Jen's fault, or, well, that lies in me to place that on a person, because people are flawed, like, we fuck up. That is so unhealthy to do that, to place your value or your identity in a person, an individual, or a status, because everything can be lost. Everything. People will let you down. Life is going to get hard. So don't do that. Now my identity lies in my hands, in my opinions, and in God's hands. I am never, ever putting my sense of self or self-value in someone else's hands again. Ever. And like I said, it was my mistake to do that in the first place, or to hold that expectation on individuals that are flawed, just as I am. Find yourself again and love that person. Also, this is something that really changed my life in the aftermath. Go claim your dreams. Whether it's for the first time, the second time, the fifth time, like whatever it is, go get the things you love. Go do the things you love, and do not let anybody stop you, because that is a huge part of falling in love with yourself again. Again, or for the first time, whatever you want to call it. It is life-changing. Go reclaim your dreams. That was my motto for basically this year. Reclaiming my dreams. And guess what? I did. It was a part of reclaiming myself and a part of loving myself again. As I close this out, I will say this is not the last time that you will hear of Minus You. I am not quite ready to make the full announcement of what is going on, but between now and spring of 2024, there is a few exciting additions to the realm of Minus You and just the general unique stories that I've experienced in my life. So until then, thank you for your support, for your listening, your words, and for those of you truly who have shared your stories with me. I love you all so much. Thank you so much. For the last time, for now, this is Madeline, and thank you for joining me on Minus You. Until next time, adios.